Welcome to another edition of Breaking News brought to you by Source Selection Soundbites. Today we will discuss the case of the Arbinger Company, an advisory opinion provided by the General Accountability Office, or GAO. In this case, the GSA published the HCATS, Small Business Set-Aside Solicitation Seeking Proposals for Customized Training and Development Services, Customized Human Capital Strategy Services, and Customized Organizational Performance Improvement Services. An unrestricted solicitation was published simultaneously for the large business pool. The solicitation explained that the agency would conduct a multi-phased evaluation. First, the agency would identify the top 40 proposals, which included those tied at the 40th position and those included based on the offeror's socioeconomic group using the offeror's self-scoring worksheets. The solicitation required offerors to submit the self-scoring worksheet as presented in the solicitation and warned offerors not to alter the document. The Arbinger Company, the protester, mistakenly submitted the unrestricted self-scoring sheet rather than the small business attachment. Given the solicitation instructions, their proposal was subsequently eliminated from the competition. Upon learning of the agency's decision to eliminate its proposal, a protest was launched against the agency's action. Arbinger argues that the agency unreasonably rejected its proposal for submitting the wrong attachment because it was clear from its proposal that it was submitting its offer as a small business in response to the set-aside solicitation. Arbinger argues that the agency should have considered Arbinger's submission of the unrestricted, rather than the small business attachment, as a minor informality or allowed Arbinger to correct it through a clarification. Arbinger argues that the attachments for the small business and unrestricted solicitations are almost identical and that its score would not have changed if GSA had allowed Arbinger to submit the correct version of the attachment. The agency responds that the solicitation was clear that the attachments could not be altered and that offerors under the small business set-aside solicitation were required to submit certain attachments. The agency further notes that the solicitation specifically advised that offerors would not be permitted to revise or resubmit attachments related to scored elements. En route to finding against the contractor, the GAO noted that the solicitation specifically advised that failure to comply with the solicitation requirements may result in a proposal being rejected as being non-conforming to solicitation requirements, and that the attachments related to scoring could not be altered or resubmitted. The subject attachments were related to scoring. Thus, by the solicitation's own terms, could not be altered or resubmitted. Further, the GAO noted that the scoring sheet was a material requirement of the solicitation that could not be resolved by clarifications, as the protester claimed. Correction of the error would have required the agency to enter discussions. Given these facts, the protest was denied. Now let's address a few of the lessons learned from this protest. They include 1. Required self-scoring attachments are material solicitation requirements. 2. Failure to submit the required self-scoring requirement is a material omission. And 3. Since it's a material omission, updating the required template would require entering discussions, so it can't be resolved via clarifications. In this episode of Source Selection Soundbites, we discuss the Arbinger Company case and a nuance of self-scoring evaluations. This concludes today's Source Selection Soundbite. If this video was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button to ensure you don't miss any new material. If you want more details on the subject, they are available on the Source Selection Answer app. It contains lectures, quizzes, court cases, sample documents, and more material that allows practitioners to quickly obtain actionable knowledge. Thanks for watching. See you next time.